In this workbook called Regional Sales, we've got 4 sheets with identical layouts. Here's the East sheet, Midwest sheet, South sheet, West sheet. We might be adding more regions. And you could imagine lists like this that might be comprised of data for each of 12 months, or possibly if it's geographically oriented, maybe one for each state, 50 different sheets. If they all have the same layout as these do, there are ways to create summary formulas and summary worksheets quickly and easily. Let's imagine that we might want to create a summary worksheet here. First thought might be, let's go to one of our sheets, for example, West, highlight this data maybe, and then copy paste it onto sheet 1, which is currently empty. That's certainly a viable approach. But a better way and a faster way is simply to make a copy of the entire sheet. And that takes care of formatting issues along the way as well as the data. You can move a sheet simply by dragging it. You can copy a sheet by holding down the Control key, and as you drag the sheet to the right, you'll see a little plus there. Let go of the mouse first, and you can easily copy the sheet. These 2 sheets, West and West 2, are identical in all respects except for their name. So what we're going to do is turn West 2 into a summary sheet. We begin simply by double-clicking the Sheet tab, typing in Summary, or some similar appropriate name. And by the way, this sheet could have been to the left of all of these sheets or to the right, doesn't make any difference. After typing in the name, we'll press Enter. And then, to be in sync with the data, we'll go to cell A2 and type in Summary. Now again, the data itself has not yet been changed. It's the same as what we have on the West sheet. But here's where we switch gears. In cell B4 on this summary sheet, we want this to be the total of retail couch sales from the East, Midwest, South, and West sheets. Now, we don't really have to make the column wider, but in order for this to be displayed more properly, let's do, somewhat arbitrarily, make the column wider. So we're going to write a formula here that will involve very little typing. And there are 2 major ways to create these kinds of formulas. They're often called 3D formulas. We'll begin with the equal sign, and then simply go to the East sheet and click on the retail couches total. It's in cell B4, as it is on all of these sheets. Then put in a plus, go to the Midwest sheet, do the same sort of thing there, click that cell, put in a plus, then click on the South sheet, go to cell B4, put in a plus, and then off to the West sheet, click that cell, but no final plus. We press Enter, and we've got a total, 4870. Adding up the data from multiple sheets, simply by clicking. The only typing that was done there was the initial equal sign and the 3 separate pluses. Now imagine, if you're doing this for 12 months, a lot more back and forth. What if you're trying to do this for 50 states? You'd probably, somewhere along the line, make a mistake, click the wrong spot, something like that. So although this is appropriate and it is correct, as soon as we get a few more sheets here, this becomes a bit unwieldy. So there's a better way to do this. Let's begin simply with AutoSum. There it is on the Home tab. It's also available on the Formulas tab. Let's start with AutoSum, and then let's select all the sheets in question. And if you've worked with multiple worksheets before, you know that you can select different sheets by clicking the first sheet and then using the Shift key and clicking the last sheet. So the next step is to click the East sheet, and with the Shift key held down, click the West sheet. If you look in the formula bar, you see a formula that isn't complete, but I think you get the idea of what's about to happen. We're gathering data on all of the sheets, East through West. Now, we haven't indicated which cell we're trying to add here, so we'll click cell B4, and we're done. Enter. Same result that we saw before, a much more compact formula. Both of these are sometimes called 3D formulas. This one is much more concise, and this would work just as smoothly if we had 12 months or if we had 50 states. If we had all the states alphabetized, this would read Alabama, Wyoming. We only need to have to refer to the first and the last. No real typing here, really. We simply select the cells. So that completes this entry. We then copy it into the next 2 cells downward, and then across into these cells right here. Readjust our column widths, click in the upper left corner, double-click a column boundary, and we truly have a 3D summary worksheet that tabulates data from multiple sheets. So this kind of a formula is very simple ultimately and provides a lot of power when we're tabulating data from multiple worksheets that have the exact same layout.